Good morning, everyone. Here we are on July 28th, 2023 at 2:45 a.m. and it's story time. All right, so a few years ago, sitting there watching YouTube with Theresa, at Silverhammer Surveillance, we sell surveillance equipment and smart home stuff, and I started to build my own smart home. And we were selling the stuff, and I was just kind of really getting into it, and I was looking for some ideas. We're watching YouTube, and we come across this badass tattooed tech geek on YouTube, talking about the smart home, specifically Apple Home, which is near and dear to my heart. And I was starting my own Apple Home, smart home. And again, looking for ideas, come across his channel. And his name is Shane Watley. And he has some really awesome weekly content. And we really enjoyed watching him. So cut to a couple years later, I'm thinking, you know what? If Shane can do this on YouTube, I can do this. I'm a badass tattooed tech geek myself. So I said, screw it. I'm going to start my own YouTube channel. And lo and behold, cut to a couple years later, in January 2021, I did just that. I started my own YouTube channel, and as part of that, started talking about the smart home. And so it was his inspiration that really kind of kicked me in the butt to get that going. And I've enjoyed the crap out of it and so happy I did it. And so I want to thank him for helping me, inspire me to do that. All right, cut to a couple years later, I start my YouTube channel, and lo and behold, he and I become friends. And that's really cool getting to know him. And through that, started to get to know his wife, Caroline, and also very cool. So yeah, it's just been a great experience. All right. So again, I started that in January 2021. We become friends. And then, unfortunately, in October 2022, yours truly gets diagnosed with cancer. And so cut to December 2022, Theresa and I go to the mail, and actually, lo and behold, Theresa had been working with Mr. Shane Watley to get my address and such, and we get some really nice gifts in the mail. Care package and some other stuff. In fact, it was so nice I did a video on it on YouTube, but it really touched me, and touched Theresa for that matter, to the point where I was crying. I mean, it was really touching and very cool. And one of those times where I really needed my spirits lifted, and gifts like this. And I talked about how supportive everybody is out there, but this is one of those examples of some really great gifts at a time when I really needed it, that really lifted my spirits. And I just thought it was so cool. So big thank you to Shane and Caroline for those gifts. And so I started to think, what would be a nice gesture to do for this dude who's been so supportive of my YouTube channel, mentioning me on his live streams all the time. It's just a really good dude. And his wife, another amazing person. So anyway, I started to think about it. And so I just reached out to his wife and Caroline and said, you know what? If you got a special occasion or something, I'd love to surprise Shane and just, show up, a birthday or whatever it may be. And she's like, well, let me think about it. So she gets back to me in May of 2023 and says, you know what? We're going to this concert in Charleston, South Carolina. And what do you think about you and Theresa making the trip and surprising him? And I was like, that's a great idea. So for the last couple months, been conspiring with Miss Watley on how we can do this. And so here it is today, July 28th. We are heading there to Charleston, South Carolina to surprise him. And, we ended up getting a really early flight. We got to be at the airport at 3:15 a.m. And we're going to go. We're going to go surprise the crap out of Mr. Shane Watley, and it's going to be awesome. Really looking forward to it. So thank you to Caroline for helping us put this together, but it should be a really good time. So I'm sitting here in the Watley chairs. Theresa always thought it'd be cool if he came here, and we sat in these chairs and had a very serious conversation, YouTube style, but screw that. We're going to go to him in beautiful Charleston, hear great things about Charleston, Caroline, and one of the top destinations here in the United States. So this is going to be fun. So we're going to keep you updated throughout this process. This is part one. One step closer. We're in the Atlanta airport. Next stop, Charleston. And we're in Charleston. All right, so we're in Charleston. We're on a bike taxi, heading to a restaurant for lunch. Hopefully Mr. Wally has no idea we're coming, but we're about to surprise him. Interesting. In the elevator, going to the rooftop. About to surprise you, Mr. Wally. Here we go.
George, are you ready?
So what's good here?
Oh shit. What now?
Thank God you're here. I can't hold it in any longer.
How are you doing?
Hi.
How's this happening?
Hello.
We've been plotting and scheming for
Where
a while.
you been?
Oh, she's
Got
teasing
you.
me right there.
I was teasing you.
There's some highlights to a very amazing trip. We're back now, sitting here in the Watley chairs in Omaha, Nebraska. We got back late last night. Left very early and got back very late. But it was, man, what an awesome trip. What a cool way for us to meet in person. I think the whole YouTube community wanted us to meet. He and I have wanted to meet in person. Just didn't know how to make it happen so far away. But thank you, Caroline, to making it happen this way. I don't think it could have gone any better. I think we surprised the crap out of him, and there's just not enough good surprises in the world nowadays. So how cool is that? But yeah, Theresa and I got there midday on Friday. The Watleys weren't getting there till Saturday, so Theresa and I got to explore Charleston a little bit, had a nice meal. And Charleston, what a beautiful city. Such a cool vibe with so much history. Great place to visit. Couldn't have been a better place for this to happen. So thanks, Caroline, to helping make this happen and picking such a cool spot. Place I'd never been, one of the few states I'd never been was South Carolina, so awesome. But yeah, I think we surprised him. They got there on Saturday at lunchtime. We went in there, surprised him, and then had lunch together, and then hung out the rest of the day. And then had a very nice dinner, oceanside. I love the ocean, and it was downpouring off and on, some really nice parts of the day, and then downpouring. But for dinner, it was downpouring. We were in a covered area outside. So we got to watch this cool storm on the ocean. Two of my favorite things, storms in the ocean. So that was actually perfection. So some great seafood there and some great company and laughs and stories. And then after that, we went to another place and hung out on the rooftop, had some cocktails. I haven't had some cocktails for a while, so that was fun. And then again, just telling stories and chatting and having a great time with Caroline and Shane and their two friends. Just a great night. And then the next day we had breakfast and had a beautiful conversation and got to hang out a little bit and walk Charleston just a little bit. So yeah, just a great trip, a great memory. My health journey, 8 months of hell on me and my family and just stressing and not knowing what the future holds. And then to get the NED status, no evidence of disease, basically cancer free at the moment anyway. And to get that news right before this trip, what an awesome way to celebrate that. And we couldn't have asked for two better people to celebrate it with. Just beautiful human beings, and so cool to finally meet them in person. And their two friends also. That was a nice little bonus. So yeah, there you go. Thanks again to Caroline. Hope you enjoyed sharing this little journey with me. It was a lot of fun in a time where fun was needed. And man, that's just the beginning. New chapter in my life. What an awesome way to kick it off. So hopefully you enjoyed, and peace and love.